Colorado hires Reggie Calhoun Jr. as the director of football, NIL, and revenue sharing. I kind of just want to get your take on this. New era. They're obviously waiting for the House settlement. Now Title IX is kind of playing a part in that, and we'll see how that kind of plays out in April. But, Matt, just get your thoughts on Colorado hiring Calhoun Jr. as their director of NIL and revenue sharing.
I think Coach Calhoun's a great coach. I think I like the GM role now being in college football. That's pretty cool. We'll see what they do with it. Now, NIL is dead now. There's no more NIL. There's going to be that $22 million cap that everybody has to operate under, and that includes other sports, which is so dumb to me. But that's the way the NCAA wants to do it, I guess. Really the way we're going to do it. Yeah. Again, the NCAA needs to fuck off, but for some reason the colleges think they need them, or the sense of tradition and the way things are done outweighs productivity and like doing it right. So we'll see how that goes. But I like it. I think it's a good hire. I think he'll do a good job. Given the keys to the Lambeau here and go. He was in both the meetings when I sat down with Coach. So, he's very focused on doing it right, not in a hurry. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, he's not coming in here to try and change shit, or he's not coming in here to try and say this is the way we're going to do it because I say so. He's coming in and saying, okay, there's certain things that we need to tweak that we can do better. But damn, that was pretty awesome last year. Let's add to it. So sometimes addition by subtraction is a real thing. But this isn't one of those cases. That he's a really, really good addition to an already good staff, in my personal opinion.
Absolutely, and I think bringing somebody like this in this era, especially headed into the new, like you mentioned, the new cap, we'll see how the Title IX ruling kind of affects all of this. That's going to be really interesting to see how that plays out and how that affects other sports along with football. But I think Colorado brings somebody like this in to kind of manage and be that so-called general manager role, so to speak, at times will be really beneficial. Like you kind of see Bill Belichick brought in Michael Lombardi at North Carolina. I can see that as well. Before we move on,
think about it like this too, though. Like my argument here now would be, everyone's not equal. We're all the same, but at the college level, like everybody's playing a sport, but we're damn sure not equal. Let's be real. It just has to be. The volleyball team isn't going to be making as much as the football players. Like, you feel me? The soccer team isn't going to be making as much. The line starts with the best football player and ends with the worst football player. And they get more than everybody else because they set the table. The only reason anybody's getting paid at all is because the football team is getting paid. And then right after that, it starts with the best basketball player or baseball player on the team. And goes until they're all done. You know what I'm saying? And then, no offense, but the scraps at the end of the table are going to be what a lot of these other programs get. And I don't care if you don't like it no more. Like, at least people are getting paid. Shit.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, I think folks that are like, I don't know if against kids getting paid, but against it so-called really turning into a business. I think it was a business before, but it really is now. I think that's kind of the pushback, no?
Yeah, there's a lot of people that don't want the kids to have any power and want to make sure that the adults in the room are getting paid hand over foot, so they have the power over the kids to hold against them. I think that the kids need to be paid regularly more. I don't think 22 million is enough. I think that number will go up significantly as we progress down the road here. It just has to. Nothing stays the same. So,
it
is what it is. But at least now the kids can get paid. Thank God, and not just the $100 handshakes, bro. I'm talking real paychecks. So, we'll see how it goes. But I prefer the cap and salary than NIL, and you can still. There's no NIL collectives anymore. I'm not trying to say NIL is done. It's done. There's a $22 million cap at Tennessee, right? And my guy Gage Ginther's at Tennessee. He's going to be a redshirt freshman. They put him on a $250,000 salary based on that $22 million simply to be on the team, right? There's your base salary. So that's probably going to happen. I'm not saying specifically with him. I'm saying it's hypothetical. And then after that, you still have the ability as a player to go find your NIL money out here in the world through your name, image, and likeness and your agent. So you can go get a Chevy dealership fucking commercial and you can go advocate for them if your name, image, and likeness brings in those views and brings in those eyes. So it's one of the reasons I'm on everyone's ass I work with about the fucking social media and how important it is simply to just post something every day. And we had a huge group in at 5 a.m. this morning. If you didn't take the advantage there of everyone else being asleep while you're working to post that you were up at 5 a.m., then obviously you don't like money and you don't like eyes and you don't want to be taught, how to do all this shit so you can go get it. So it's a lot of it is just application too, right? Like if you go to college and you're a 6'2", 280-pound lineman, you have to do fucking everything right. You have to go to class every day. You can't have any reason for the coaches to get rid of you. Where the 6'7", 310-pounder might be able to get away with a lot more shit because he's 6'7", 310. I mean, like that's shit is hard. So fuck. It's it is what it is.
Very well said. Before we move on from this topic, wanted to read Coach Calhoun's comments on joining Colorado as the director of football, NIL, and revenue sharing. He says, "This is more than just a title. It's an opportunity to shape the future of college athletics. NIL has changed the game. I'm here to make sure CU is leading the charge. Whether it's managing the cap, building recruiting strategies, or helping our athletes turn their potential into real opportunities, this role is about setting the standard and doing it the right way." He says this isn't just about deals or dollars. It's about building a vision that sets our athletes and program up for long-term success. Success comes from systems and support, and I'm grateful to work with some of the best in the business to make that vision a reality. He finished it off saying, "I'm incredibly thankful for the trust and support from anyone who's been a part of my journey. This isn't just a job. It's a chance to give back, to guide, and to build systems that enable our athletes to own their careers while pushing CU football to new heights." Matt, I look forward to the future with Coach Calhoun Jr. as the director of football NIL revenue sharing. Any last comments before we move forward?
I'm just excited about it. I think it's a new title that hasn't been up there in a while. We've talked about Coach Prime and his ability, if he wants, to create a job title for you. So this is a great move. It puts a lot of pressure on him to do some of the jobs that don't have an outline. There's not somebody you can step in and be, what did he do right and wrong? This is just stepping in and going, this is the first time we've done this shit, so whatever he does, right or wrong, I've got to evaluate this, and I've got to make sure that I'm not repeating mistakes, that I'm setting up the university for success through the general manager job. So, I love how diligent he is and how prepared he is. So that's really the thing that stood out to me the most when we met too, is this man was taking notes like we were in third fucking period history class and shit. So yeah, I think they got a good one there.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad to hear it. Colorado hires Reggie Calhoun Jr. as the director of football, NIL, and revenue sharing. Big news. Shout out to Coach Calhoun Jr. for joining the staff.